Most everybody knows that line in A Few Good Men, even if you hadn't seen the movie with Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise says, "I want the truth," and slams his fist down, and Jack Nicholson responds with, "You can't handle the truth." And I can't even make a face like his. We're going to Proverbs 23 and verse 23 to talk about accepting criticism and correction. Now, I'm going to back into this, so just be patient with me for a few minutes. Proverbs 23 and verse 23, and I'll start that with the question by asking you, what are you working so hard to buy? Now, I'm Zach. This is The Average Christian. I want to welcome you in hopes that this will help you in some way and that you can share it with other people whom it might help as well. We're just trying to look at a practical, everyday relationship with God by learning how to live this out, looking at truth, and dispelling myths about Christianity as well, and misunderstandings. And so if you're listening on podcast, thank you. We hope that at the end of this, you will rate and review and subscribe to us as well. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think of it. I'll get it out in a minute. And also, if you're on YouTube, we want you to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you'll receive updates when we release new material. And hit the like or the dislike button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us ideas, too. If you have subjects or scriptures or whatever that you'd like me to cover, then let us know about that. All right. Nobody likes being corrected, right? Nobody likes it. The Lord even has a chapter in Hebrews 12, that talks about discipline and correction and so forth. And we can't even be children of His if we're not disciplined. But nobody enjoys it. And in our culture, in our culture, we are really trying to move away from offending anybody, from anybody getting their feelings hurt. So I'm asking you, we can't change everybody else. But I'm asking you, how do you deal with being corrected? Can you be criticized, even in the wrong way, with the wrong mentality from the person who's doing it, or coming at you in the wrong manner? Well, Proverbs 23 and verse 23 says, "Buy truth and do not sell it. Buy wisdom, instruction, and understanding." That's the goal, truth. And that's what's getting murky. I mean, just trying to figure out this stuff on coronavirus and so many other things, and who's saying what and what is right and who has the truth. It gets lost in so much of a sea of information. But that's the goal. And how badly do you want that? How hard are you working to make sure you have the truth, that you live by the truth, and you please God to do so? And truth in many cases seems relative. Well, it isn't here. It is, we are all subject to the truth, accepted or rejected or what have you. It is from God, and it is exactly what He says it is. And we do want it, don't we? How many of us want to turn on whatever news channel and just get the truth? It's hard to watch sports anymore. It's hard to watch ESPN anymore because I don't want to hear guys talking 30, 45 minutes, an hour on what their opinion is. Just tell me what the news is. Just give me that to digest. We want it from our government, don't we? We want them to tell us the truth. It doesn't look so good. I got to say, honestly, religion, we want that, this truth that's already been predetermined. We would just want people to be honest about what it is. And everybody has opinions, right? But who decides without a transcendent truth, without a truth that rises above what I think about it or what you think about it or whoever accepts it or doesn't accept it? And everyone, it seems, really wants truth so long as it agrees with them. Is that you? Are you trying to adjust your world? Are you trying to adjust reality in order to fit how you feel so that you don't have to change? That's how a lot of people are trying to treat religion right now. I'm just going to change the way God says this, that, or the other. And I can give you multiple examples, but you can think of them on your own. We're going to try to change what God said in order to fit my lifestyle. And that didn't work with anybody because everybody that comes to God has got to change, and on I could go there. But the truth is what everyone really wants. And if people would make an honest search for that, the world would be much simpler, wouldn't it? But the truth is, in government, truth is traded for power, advancement, and money, isn't it? Not all the time. Not everybody is sideways or lax morals in government, but a lot of times that happens. In religion, people are looking to have their ears pleased. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verses 3 and 4, he warned about this. Paul warned Timothy, for the time is coming when people will not endure, because you do have to endure it because it didn't always feel good, sound teaching, but having itching ears, they will accumulate for themselves teachers to suit their own passions and will turn away from listening to the truth and wander off into myths. That's part of the reason why we're doing what we're doing here. And that's why there appears to be so many versions of the original. I've told you before in other videos, one of the dumbest questions you could have asked in the first century is, what church do you go to? There wasn't a choice. There wasn't a choice or multiple choices at all. It was just the church. And it wasn't all of this string of all types of different beliefs, but yet we love Jesus, and so we'll just all accept each other and ignore our differences. That's not it at all. That's not the unity that Jesus prayed for. Remember John 17, 20 and 21, I do not ask for those only, as Jesus prayed to the Father before he was betrayed, but also for those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, just as you, Father, and are in me and I in you, that they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. No wonder people are starving for the Lord. No wonder people are not sure about the Lord, because they see the lack of unity amongst us. And this version that people are trying to sell in religion doesn't work, because we all disagree about salvation, and we disagree about heaven and hell, and we disagree about worship and all these other things. And we can't sell that to the public and say, see, we're all united. We love Jesus. That's not the unity that Jesus prayed for. He said, just as you and I are one. But again, I digress for another time. John 17, verse 17, sanctify them, set them apart in truth. Your word is truth. But many are trying to act like this is a university, as I mentioned in a recent video. And sometimes it happens in the church as well, in the true church that exists. If truth is the treasure, let me rephrase. If truth is the treasure, then instruction is always welcome. I want to know. See, that's hard for people even in a job. You ever been in a job where you got corrected because you did something wrong? How many of you make excuses? For you young people here, let me give you a little bit of information. The boss does not want to know why you messed it up. He doesn't want to hear the reasons behind it. He didn't want to hear that somebody else didn't do their job. If it's on you, then it's on you. Apologize, listen to the correction, and go forward and make a difference. That's even difficult for people in a regular everyday job situation. But if the truth is the treasure, then instruction is always welcome, even when I don't like it. Let me give you some verses. Psalm 119 and verse 40, behold, I long for your precepts. In your righteousness, give me life, longing for God's law. Psalm 119, verse 160, the sum of your word is truth, and every one of your righteous rules endures forever. Rules are a bad thing, right? Not at all. Proverbs 2, 1 and 2, my son, if you receive my words and treasure up my commandments with you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your ear to understanding. Proverbs 4, 6 and 7, do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Understand, know, realize how to use it. Proverbs 10 through 11, take my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold, for wisdom is better than jewels, and all that you may desire cannot compare with her. You want to be taught in every way possible. You want people to correct you. You don't want to be wrong. Feeling bad will not be paramount to being wrong. You'll want people, I may have said that wrong, but what I mean is you won't care how it makes you feel if you want to know exactly how to do it. And so you'll try gaining truth through reading. You'll try gaining truth through hearing a lesson in conversation with people who know better and can teach you as well. So the need is to fall in love with the truth. All right, that's the beginning. I told you I was going to back into this thing about correction, but the beginning of it is to fall in love with the truth. I just want to be right. I don't care what I think about it. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care what I have to give up, what I have to change. None of those things. But it's evident sometimes. It's evident that people aren't in love with the truth, that you may not be in love with the truth because you judge the sermon by how entertaining it is. Well, I didn't get much out of it because it didn't entertain me or wasn't on the subject that I want to hear. The preacher's always talking about this, or whatever the case is. But it could you learn from it? I've heard some boring preachers, but a lot of wisdom, and I could always learn something from it, even from those who weren't preaching a long time. Sometimes it's evident in the ignorance throughout the church. You want to talk about the number one problem in the church today? It is not all of these outside forces. It is the ignorance in the pew, as one man said. Evident in the ways that we reject it when we don't like it. We turn our nose up to it. In Acts 8, you can read about Simon the sorcerer, verses 14 through 24, who was rebuked harshly by Peter, but he immediately repented. I mean, he had just obeyed the gospel. This is a new Christian who wanted to buy the power of the apostles to be able to lay hands on people and give them these gifts of the Holy Spirit. And Peter rebuked him sharply, and he repented immediately. That's the reaction. But what if the instruction is given in the wrong way? I know I'm rambling. Bear with me. I'm going to get to the end of this quickly. But what if instruction is given in the wrong way? What if somebody comes to you and they're judgmental? What if they come to you and they just want to condemn you? What if they do it in a harsh way? What if they embarrass you? What if they put you down? And all the other ways you can think about that would be the wrong way to approach somebody in helping them. Well, one who loves the truth is going to look for it no matter. Can that person who dogged me, who made fun of me, who belittled me, can I learn something from what they said? If not, then just dismiss it. But can I learn, do they have a point, even if they made that point in the wrong way? It doesn't mean we have to like it or enjoy it. In Proverbs 10 and verse 17, whoever heeds instruction is on the path to life. He who rejects reproof leads others astray. Doesn't say the right reproof, the well-intentioned reproof. It talks about the correction, being chastised sometimes. And sometimes I don't want to hear what other people have to teach me because I feel like I may know more than them. There's lots of different reasons we could go through here. But do you love the truth? Do you just want that? Can you pick that out, even in a bad situation, and realize there's something I can learn from this? When truth takes a backseat, then correction is soured. When truth takes a backseat to your feelings, to your standing, to people's view of you, whatever the case is, when truth takes a backseat, reproof, correction is soured. In the Greek, that word reproof, I'll get it out in a minute, sometimes translated rebuke or to convict, to refute, generally with a suggestion of shame, to expose or bring to the light. Jesus talked about that in John 3, verse 19. This is the judgment. The light has come into the world. He's that light, of course. And people love darkness rather than the light because their works were evil. So I don't want anybody to know about it. Therefore, Jesus is not liked because he exposes the evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light, does not come into the light, lest his works should be exposed. But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in God. So it doesn't matter if I'm just trying to do the right thing. It doesn't matter whether I'm exposed or not. It doesn't matter about all those, because I am on the path to righteousness. And if that takes correction, if it takes discipline, whatever the case is, even if I don't like it, truth is what I love and what I'm looking to buy. And it's to correct somebody is to find fault with or correct, and nobody likes it. Nobody likes being wrong. And here are some true statements to finish up with and some scripture to give you. Reproof. If you read that in the Bible, here's what it means. It's locating the sin and connecting it to the sinner. Now, how are you ever, let me turn this on me. How are you ever going to be able to help me get to God if you can't correct me, if I'm uncorrectable, because I won't receive it? I don't care about the truth. I just don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel guilty. You do this, though, in Bible studies and visits with people. If I can't listen and learn when I'm reproved, then truth has taken that backseat that I mentioned, and it usually sits behind pride. If I can't learn because truth has taken a backseat, then that backseat is usually right behind pride. And God uses it, as I mentioned, for discipline. How much do you want to be right? How much do you want to know the truth? Well, God uses this as well. I mentioned some scriptures, but I'll give you a few more. 2 Timothy 3, 16 through chapter 4 and verse 2. Job 5:17. Behold, Blessed is the one whom God reproves. Therefore, despise not the discipline of the Almighty. Proverbs 3:11 and 12, Revelation 3:19. There is wisdom in accepting this reproof and discipline. Proverbs 9:8. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Which one are you? Proverbs 19:25. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will learn prudence. Reprove a man of understanding, and he will gain knowledge. Proverbs 15:5 and 31. A fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent. Verse 31. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. And it is good for us. One passage here, so I need it. It's good for me to be corrected, so I need that. Proverbs 25 and 12. Like a gold ring or ornament of gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. I need to be corrected. I need to be set straight. You do as well. And if you're ever going to make it, you've got to allow people to come to you and say, this is not right. You need to change your ways. Are you willing to accept that? Even when they don't do it in the right way, are you willing to accept that, swallow that pride, and say, you know what? They have a point. Otherwise, we're going to be foolish. So I hope this helps you. It helps you understand and to be able to take that correction and make you better.